Hello, my name is Williams and I am a masturbation addict. Each day I find myself succumbing to this addiction 10 to 15 times. It all started when I was 16, a high school student with a girlfriend who introduced me to masturbation. Ironically, this addiction led to the end of that relationship and has since been a barrier to forging new ones. Now, at 42, unmarried, I'm left grappling with the repercussions. It's been a long, devastating journey with this addiction, and today I'm sharing my story with you. My journey with masturbation began when I was 16 years old, back in high school. My then girlfriend introduced me to it, and it seemed harmless, just a part of growing up. We were young, exploring our bodies and our sexuality. But what started as a seemingly innocent exploration quickly spiraled into a habit that began to consume my life. I remember the first signs of my addiction. I was spending more time alone, making excuses to be by myself. I started distancing myself from my girlfriend, the very person who introduced me to this habit. The rift between us widened until one day, it led to the inevitable. We broke up. There was guilt, regret, but also a strange sense of relief. I had more time for myself, more time for my addiction. That was my initial reaction to it, a twisted sense of freedom. Little did I know that was just the beginning of a long and lonely road. As the years went by, my addiction only grew stronger. This wasn't merely a pastime or a form of escapism, it had become an insidious force that dictated my daily life. I found myself in an unending cycle, trapped in my own self-destructive pattern. I tried to quit, oh how I tried. I sought help from professionals, attended group therapy sessions, even tried self-help books. But every attempt ended in defeat, each failure more disheartening than the last. It was as if an invisible hand was holding me back, dragging me back into the abyss of addiction. My mental health took a severe hit. I grappled with anxiety, depression, and a deep-seated sense of shame that seemed to permeate every aspect of my life. I felt isolated, like I was the only one in the world going through this. The stigma attached to masturbation addiction made it even harder for me to reach out and seek help. It was a silent struggle, one that I fought behind closed doors, away from the prying eyes of the world. My personal life was in shambles. Relationships were impossible to maintain. I had lost my high school sweetheart because of this addiction, and since then, it has been a series of missed connections and broken relationships. It was as if my addiction had built a wall around me, keeping me isolated from any form of emotional intimacy. Professionally, it was no better. I was constantly exhausted, unable to focus or maintain a steady work routine. Opportunities slipped through my fingers, and I watched as my peers moved ahead in life, while I remained stuck, a prisoner of my own addiction. But perhaps the most significant struggle was the constant battle within myself. The guilt, the shame, the desperate desire to change, constantly clashing with the overpowering urge to succumb to my addiction. It was a war that raged on every day, and it took a heavy toll on me. My addiction has held me back in life, and it's time for me to break free. The road to recovery is long and arduous, but I am ready to embark on this journey. I am ready to reclaim my life from the clutches of addiction. Now, at 42, I find myself at a crossroads. The years have been filled with countless moments of solitude, my addiction acting as a barrier between me and the world. It's a vast, echoing silence that's been my constant companion. But I've realized that I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to be a prisoner to my own compulsions. I yearn for something different, something better. I yearn for a life where I am not defined by my addiction, but by my actions and my character. I yearn for a life where I am free to love, to connect, to grow. But to achieve this, I need to break free from the chains of my addiction. This is where I ask for your help. Perhaps you've walked this path before, perhaps you've seen someone else walk it. I invite you to share your wisdom, your advice. How did you, or they, overcome this? What steps did you take? What resources did you find helpful? I am ready to change. I am ready to face the challenges, to weather the storm. I am ready to reclaim my life from the clutches of this addiction. I am ready to start anew, to build a life that I can be proud of. I know it won't be easy, but I am ready to take back control of my life. Can you help me?